Alright, so number 7 gives us 2 points. So remember that when we need to find the slope and the y-intercept, one thing we can find is 2 points is the slope by using the slope formula. So we are given an x1, y1, x2, y2, and I'll write down the slope formula. Alright, so my y2 is 3, my y1 is 7, so I'm subtracting those. And then my x2 is -1, and my x1 is 5. 3 minus 7 is -4, and 1 minus 5 is -6. So this would make our slope 2 negatives make a positive, and 4/6 reduces to 2/3, so it has a positive slope of 2/3. Alright, so now I am given an x and a y up here, another x and a y up here, and I'm given my slope. So what I can do is pick one of those points and plug in to the y equals mx plus b equation and solve for what I don't have, which is going to be the y-intercept. So let's pick the point 5, 7, just because it doesn't have any negatives in it. You can pick whichever one you want. You'll still get the same answer as long as you do correctly. Alright, so first thing I'm looking at is my y. My y is 7. My m I solved for, it's 2/3. I have an x of 5 right here, plus b, because that's the thing that I'm solving for. So I need to math 2/3 and 5. And after I multiply those, I'm going to get 10/3 plus b. Alright, so now I need to get that 10/3 over to the 7 by subtracting it. And -7 minus 10/3 is going to give me 11/3. So what I've done is solve for b being 11/3. So b is 11/3, m is 2/3, so I can plug everything back in. So y is equal to 2/3 x plus 11/3. Alright, this one gives us 2 points again. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2, and now we're going to first find the slope by using the slope formula. I'll go ahead and write that down one more time. Filling in for the slope formula, y2 is 3. So I'm going to have 3 minus 3 on top, and I'm going to have 1 minus -2 on bottom. Alright, so 3 minus 3 is going to give me 0, and 1 minus -2 is going to give me a positive 3. Alright, so I have a slope of 0 over 3, which really is a slope of 0. So I need to remember what 0 slopes look like. So maybe we want to remember Mr. Slope Guy's face. And I know slopes, see there's the zeros at the end there. I know slopes that go horizontally have 0 slope. So this one is not going to have a slope. So when I am writing this, I'm going to say y is equal to, so if I would have plugged in a 0 here and then the 3 here, I would have gotten 0, which would have made this whole term here, so that's why I'm not writing it in my answer. All I'm doing is saying y is equal to the y-intercept, which is 3. And what that would look like, if this was my coordinate graph, I'm just going to have a line go through 3, and it's going to be horizontal with a 0 slope. So y equals 3 is your solution. So number 9 wants us to write the equation of that line, and all we're given is a graphed line. So remember that we need to find the slope and the y-intercept to plug into our equation. So first let's look for the slope. I like to find 2 points and count the slope of rise over run instead of using the slope formula because it's just easier. So I have a rise of 1, 2, 3, 4, because I'm going from this point to this point. So I have a rise of 4 and a run of 1, 2. So therefore, I know it has a slope of positive 2. And the next thing I need to look for is where does this line cross the y-axis. So I've got my y is this line right here, and this line hits that axis right here at -1. So if I'm writing my solution, y is equal to 2x minus 1. Alright, so this one gives us a line, but notice that this line is a vertical line. It goes straight up and down this way. So I'm looking at this blue line right here, right? Let's remember what we know about slopes that go straight up and down. So I drew Mr. Slope Man again. So I know that slopes that go straight up and down are going to be unidentified. So this one has an unidentified slope. So what does that mean in terms of my my writing it in the equation of a line? So notice that that line does not go through the y at all. It would have to go this way in order to go through the y. It does not go through the y. It only goes through the x. And you see that it goes through the x at -1, -2, -3. So this line, the equation would just be x is equal to -3.